My friends, especially those of you enjoying your golden years, I want you to listen closely. Because what I'm about to share could make a real difference in protecting your money. These days, more and more scams are targeting older adults, and one of the sneakiest ones is quietly spreading all across the country. It's something so simple that many people don't even notice it. Until it's too late, and by then, hundreds of dollars may already be gone. Now, I know for most of you, using a debit card feels safer than carrying cash. You swipe it at the grocery store, the pharmacy, or when you fill up your car with gas, and you go on with your day. But the truth is, there's a trick out there right now that takes advantage of that trust, and it's designed to slip right past your eyes. I'm going to explain exactly how it works, why it's so dangerous for seniors like us, and the simple steps you can take to keep your hard-earned money safe. I don't want you to feel afraid, but I do want you to feel aware and prepared. Too many of our seniors discover these scams only after their accounts are drained, and I don't want that for you. You've worked hard all your life, and every dollar matters. Protecting it is not just about money. It's about peace of mind and the freedom to live without unnecessary stress. Before we get started, I'd like to ask you something. Have you ever looked at your bank statement and noticed an extra charge that didn't make sense to you? Maybe you thought it was just a mistake or something you forgot about. If that's ever happened, please share your experience in the comments below. Your story could help another senior avoid falling into the same trap. Stay with me until the end, because I'm going to walk you through this scam step by step, and by the time we're done, you'll know exactly what to watch for and how to stay safe. Point 1. How the double charge trick works. Let me break this down for you in the clearest way possible. The double charge trick is one of those scams that look so ordinary, you'd almost never notice it unless you're paying very close attention. Here's what usually happens. You go about your day, maybe picking up groceries, stopping at the pharmacy, or filling up your gas tank. You swipe or tap your debit card, hear the little beep, and you're on your way. Everything feels normal, but behind the scenes, something else is happening. The scammer, whether it's through a tampered machine, a dishonest employee, or even a small computer glitch planted into the system, sneaks in a second charge. Sometimes, this second charge is an exact copy of the first one. So, if you spent $28.50 at the grocery store, another $28.50 might quietly appear right below it on your bank statement. Other times, they're even trickier. They'll change the number slightly, maybe to $27.95 or $29.10. Those tiny differences make it harder for you to notice, especially when you don't always remember the exact amount of small purchases. The reason this scam is so clever is because it hides in plain sight. Your bank doesn't usually raise a red flag, because on paper, it looks like you simply went back into the store for a second purchase. To the system, it's just another transaction from the same place. And let's be honest. How many of us remember the exact price of every single item we buy? Most people don't. That's exactly why these scammers succeed. Now here's the part that makes it even scarier for seniors. Unlike when your credit card gets hacked and strange charges pop up from another state or country, these double charges happen at the same places you already shop. Your trusted pharmacy, the gas station down the road, or the grocery store you've been using for years. That makes it feel normal, familiar, and safe. And that's the trap. This trick is spreading quickly because it's low risk for criminals but high cost for everyday people. They don't need to steal thousands at once, they just nibble away, little by little, knowing that most folks won't catch it until it's too late. And sadly, it's our seniors who are being hit the hardest, because many rely on debit cards every single day. Point 2. Why the double charge trick is so dangerous for seniors. Now let's talk about why this scam hits older adults the hardest. Many of us who are retired or living on fixed incomes rely on debit cards for everyday spending. They feel simple and safe. No interest rates, no juggling balances, just money straight from the account. But that's exactly what makes this scam so damaging. When a scammer slips in that second charge, the money is gone instantly. It doesn't sit in a pending stage like with a credit card. It's pulled straight out of your checking account, the very account you rely on to pay rent, utilities, medication, or groceries. Think about it. If someone quietly schemes $20 here and $30 there, it might not feel like much at first. But over a few weeks or months, that could add up to hundreds of dollars missing from your account. For seniors, that loss isn't just inconvenient, it can mean having to choose between paying for medication or food, or dealing with overdraft fees when the account comes up short. Another problem is how long it takes many of us to even notice. A lot of older adults still wait for paper statements in the mail, which only arrive once a month. By the time that bill lands in your hands, weeks may have passed. Point 3. Real-life examples of the double charge trick. Sometimes the best way to understand just how sneaky this scam can be is by looking at what's already happened to other people. These aren't careless folks. These are everyday seniors, just like you, who did nothing wrong, and yet still lost money. Take the story of a woman in her 70s who had been using her debit card at the same local pharmacy for years. She trusted the staff, knew the routine, and never imagined anything shady could happen there. But month after month, a small $9.85 charge kept appearing on her statement. At first, she brushed it off, thinking it might be a refill she forgot about. By the third month, though, she realized something was off. That harmless double charge had already added up to nearly $120 before she caught it. The worst part? It wasn't even a mistake. The system had been compromised by criminals who counted on her not noticing. Then there was an older gentleman who stopped at his usual gas station. He swiped his card, filled up his car, and went on his way. His statement later showed $45 for fuel, which sounded right, but directly beneath it was another charge for $43, same station, same day. At first, he thought maybe he'd swiped twice by accident. But when the same thing happened the very next week, he knew it wasn't a slip-up. Over 2 months, he lost more than $400, all from the same familiar place he trusted. What makes these examples so frustrating is that these seniors weren't careless. They didn't give away their PIN numbers, they didn't fall for phone scams, and they didn't hand over their cards to strangers. They simply paid for things the same way they always had, in good faith. The criminals didn't need to trick them directly, they only needed to sneak into the routine, blending the fraud right into everyday life. This is why the double charge trick is so dangerous. It hides inside normal transactions, where you least expect it. If it can happen at your neighborhood pharmacy or the gas station you've been using for years, it can happen anywhere. And that's exactly why it spreads so quickly. Because people trust the places they shop, and scammers exploit that trust to stay invisible. Point 4. Warning signs to watch for. Now that you understand how the double charge trick works and have seen how it has affected real people, let's talk about how you can spot it before it costs you too much money. The truth is, most people only notice when they're lucky, or when the amounts get big enough to cause alarm. I don't want you to rely on luck. I want you to know the red flags so you can catch this scam early. The most obvious warning sign is seeing the same charge twice on your statement. For example, if you went to the grocery store and spent $65, you should see one $65 charge. If you see another $65 charge listed right beneath it, even if it's on the same day, that's a red flag. Don't brush it off as a machine glitch or assume you tapped your card twice. Even one duplicate charge is worth checking with your bank. Another sign is when the numbers don't quite match what you remember spending. Say you stopped at a coffee shop and your total was about $18. Later, your statement shows one charge for $18 and another for $17.25. At first glance, that second number looks close enough, so you might think it's fine. But scammers do this on purpose. They make the amount just slightly different because they know most of us don't remember exact totals, especially on small purchases. Watch out also for small charges that keep showing up month after month. These are the trickiest, because they disguise themselves as subscriptions or routine expenses. Maybe it's $9.99, maybe $12.50, just small enough that you ignore it. Seniors often assume it's for something they signed up for but can't quite remember. That's exactly what the scammer wants. Over time, those little charges can drain hundreds of dollars. And one more warning: charges from businesses you only visited once. Imagine you filled up at a highway gas station during a road trip. Months later, you see another charge from that same station, even though you haven't been back. That's not a mistake, that's fraud. The biggest mistake seniors make is doubting themselves. You might think, oh, I must have forgotten something I bought, or it's probably nothing. But that hesitation is exactly what scammers count on. If something feels off, even just a little, treat it like a warning bell. It's always better to question it than to let it slide. Point 5. How to protect yourself and stop it. Now let's get to the most important part: how you can protect yourself so this scam never drains your hard-earned money. The good news is, you don't need complicated technology or fancy tools. What you need are simple habits, small steps you can take that make a big difference. The very first habit is checking your bank statements regularly. And I don't just mean waiting for the paper statement that comes once a month. By then, weeks may have passed, and the scammer has already taken more. If you can, try looking at your account once a week, or even every few days. It takes only 5 minutes, but those 5 minutes can save you hundreds of dollars. Think of it like brushing your teeth, a small routine that prevents much bigger problems later on. The second step is to set up transaction alerts. Most banks today allow you to get a text message or an email every time your debit card is used. That way, if a double charge happens, you'll see it immediately. I always suggest setting alerts for all purchases, not just the big ones. Scammers rely on slipping in small amounts, and this way, they can't sneak past you. Here's another important tip: whenever possible, use a credit card instead of a debit card. I know many seniors prefer debit because it feels more straightforward, money goes directly from your account. But credit cards have stronger fraud protections by law. If someone double charges your credit card, you usually aren't held responsible, and the bank takes care of it. With debit, your money is taken right out of your account, and you're left waiting for the bank to sort it out. If you're disciplined about paying off the balance each month, credit is a safer choice. Saving receipts might feel old-fashioned, but trust me, it works. If you keep them for just a week, Or 2, you'll have proof of what you actually spent. So, if you see two $35 pharmacy charges on your statement, you can pull out your receipt and know without doubt that you only paid once. That little paper can be your strongest defense. Also, don't hesitate to ask for help from a trusted family member. Sometimes pride keeps us from letting others look over our finances, but a second set of eyes can catch things you might miss. A quick review once a month with a son, daughter, or close friend could protect you from losing hundreds. And finally, if you ever spot something suspicious, act fast. Don't wait until Monday, don't put it off. Call your bank immediately. The quicker you report it, the easier it is to reverse the charge and block more from happening. One last powerful step: consider using more than one account. Keep your main money and bill payments in one account, and use a second, smaller account linked to your debit card for everyday spending. That way, even if scammers do hit you, the amount they can steal is limited. It's like locking most of your valuables in a safe and only carrying a little cash in your wallet. The double charge trick works because it hides in the shadows of everyday life. But when you shine a light on your finances by checking, tracking, and asking questions, you take away the scammer's power. My friends, now you can see why this scam is so troubling, and why it's spreading so quickly. The double charge trick doesn't require anyone to steal your card, guess your PIN, or even hack into your computer. It hides inside the most ordinary parts of your life: paying for groceries, filling your gas tank, or picking up medicine. That's what makes it so dangerous. It sneaks into routine moments when your guard is down. But here's the encouraging part: you're not powerless. With just a few simple habits, you can stay one step ahead. Check your account often, use alerts, save your receipts, and when possible, use a credit card instead of debit. Don't ignore even the smallest suspicious charge, treat it as a signal to take action. And if you're ever unsure, don't be embarrassed to ask a family member or friend for help. It doesn't mean you're weak, it means you're wise enough to protect yourself. I know many seniors take great pride in their independence. You've managed your finances for years, and you've worked hard for every dollar. That's exactly why you need to protect it now, more than ever. This isn't just about money, it's about peace of mind, security, and knowing that no one can quietly chip away at what you've earned. So as we wrap this up, I want you to remember one simple rule: if something on your statement doesn't feel right, don't ignore it. Trust your instincts and take action quickly. The faster you respond, the less chance scammers have to steal from you. And now I'd like to hear from you. Have you ever noticed a charge on your bank statement that didn't seem right? Maybe it was small, and you weren't sure if it was a mistake. Share your experience in the comments below. Your story might just help another senior avoid falling into this trap. Stay alert, stay safe, and remember, protecting your money means protecting your freedom. You've earned both, and you deserve to keep them.